All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the green room and we're with the best of the best. We're going to hear from the authors of Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. All the authors out there right now, why don't you all say hello, wave to the authors, say hello to the folks that are out there. They showed up to hear all about you and your story, and I'm super excited. But we're in the green room, okay? We'll get to Drop the Mask, Share the Crown in a moment. But first, the folks want to know, who are you? And I'll start off almost every episode taking time to let folks know who you are and where you're broadcasting from. So we're going to go around. I'll start with Tanya. And Tanya, tell the audience your first name and last name, and more importantly, where you're broadcasting from, and the name of, or I should say the title of your chapter.
My name is Tanya Williams, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. And the name of my chapter is Heavy is the Head That Wears the Crown.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Now, Birmingham, Alabama's in the house, so we recognize that. Quick question. What's one of the reasons why you decided now was the right time to share your message, and more importantly, on this platform?
I have to be honest, I think it's just the time with everything that we're dealing with just each other in general, the race differences and the things that's going on in the world. I think this is a perfect time for us just to drop the mask and stop being fake and just be real with who we are. And it's time for us to collaborate and come together to make a difference, because sometimes if you want change, you have to be the change.
You have to be the change. And why is it so? And I know this is an unfair question, but in 60 seconds or less, why is it so hard for folks to actually just be themselves?
I feel like we're all in so much competition. It doesn't matter what field we're in. We can be on the same platform or field, but we feel like there's a competition there, and we're always striving to be better. And I really don't know why that is, but we wear a mask in our own home when we go out to the workplace or everywhere we go. I feel that God only anoints our authentic self. And I've learned over the years, the more I have been myself, the more comfortable I am, and the more I can relate and connect to people.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. We're in the green room, ladies and gentlemen. We're finding out who these folks are, where they're broadcasting from, and more importantly, the name of their chapter. Thank you so much for sharing. We'll go over to Anika now. And Anika, if you can, tell us your full name, because I just said your first name, obviously, where you're broadcasting in from, and more importantly, what's the name of your chapter? And your lips look good, by the way. They look good moving. I know you're practicing. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. She was on mute, so she's going to come off of mute so we can hear her.
Apologies. Hello, Shay. I am Anika Cohen. I'm from Dover, Delaware. And the title of my chapter is Three Powerful Principles to Collaborate in Life, Business, and Your Career.
Wow. Now, Dover, Delaware is in the house, and you use the word collaboration or collaborate, and collaboration means different things to different people. So take a moment, and when you use the word collaborate, what is your definition of collaboration, and why is that so important?
My definition is to connect. I believe that it is very essential to anyone in business, in life, in your career, to connect with the people that you aspire, whatever you aspire to do in life. You should connect with those very beings so that way you can connect and grow and expand.
Wow, okay, I love it. We're in the green room, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting a sneak preview. Don't worry, we'll get more into their chapter and what it really means to you. But we're going to go over to Angela now, who's sitting there. And we're going to ask Angela, you know the question by now, Angela. I've said it twice. Like, tell us your full name, where you're broadcasting in from, and more importantly, the name of your chapter.
My name's Angela Singletary. I am broadcasting from Biloxi, Mississippi on the Gulf Coast. And the name of my chapter is Drop the Ego, Share the Crown.
Ooh, drop the ego, share the crown. Biloxi's in the house, by the way. Y'all are in the building. Okay, I love shout out for Biloxi. But in all seriousness, ego. Why is it so hard for folks to really drop the ego?
Well, if you really want to know, it's because the ego is the ancient part of our brain, and it's just trying to protect us. It's trying to keep us safe because it still thinks we're cavemen. And so it's hard for us to kind of grab control of that because it does its own thing trying to keep us safe.
Okay. We'll learn more about that I can't wait. I can't wait. Thanks so much for sharing there, by the way. We appreciate that. And over to the one and only Shadaria, who's down there. Shadaria, tell them your full name, where you're broadcasting in from, and the name of your chapter.
Hello, Shay, and everybody else. I'm Shadaria Allison. I'm broadcasting from Greensboro, North Carolina. The name of my chapter is called Pink America.
Greensboro, North Carolina, Pink America.
Yes.
Okay. Why that title and why now?
Well, as we know, the colors of our flag is red, white, and blue, and pink is kind of the vector or representative of women. So I base it off of what the United States would look like should we share a flag supported and anthemed by women.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear about this. Ladies and gentlemen, we can start in a minute. We're like just in the green room. We're going to get to the other side. They'll do a little deeper dive. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be amazing. Dawn, as you're sitting over there, you're the visionary of Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. For everyone that's watching right now, that's tuning in and hearing just that book for the first time, take a moment, if you would, and tell them, what's this vision all about? What's this anthology all about? What is this collection of stories? What's the mission and purpose of it? Talk to us, if you would.
Well, Shay, the mission of my whole idea of this is looking at our country today and looking where we're at in society. There is a huge divide. I feel like we have regressed, about 50 or 60 years in the divide in our country right now. And so coming together as one people, all races, ethnicities, religions, sizes, just all differences, women coming together as one people and working together in collaboration. That's my vision for this. And, even though I know I can't change the world single-handedly, I can sure make a difference. And so this is the start of a new movement, because we don't have to be segregated. We don't have to be separated. We just need to drop the mask and stop acting like we do everything ourselves. We have social media and all that, portraying perfectness. And it's not. You didn't get there by yourself. And so share the crown. Not everybody's in competition with you. So that's what it's all about.
Perfect title, I believe, at the perfect time on the perfect evening. So I'm so glad to have this behind the scenes, this exclusive, which is super, super cool. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a show. We got to get going in 5, my favorite part to do. 4, I can't wait. 3, 2, 1. We'll see you on the episode. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I always like to talk about really 3 visions that I believe that we all have. I believe we first have a vision for ourselves. And there's a certain lifestyle that you want. There's a certain home you like to be in. I like mine to have some electricity, by the way. That God helps in some internet power. There's certain food that you love to eat. I hope it's organic, by the way, and healthy for you. And it takes some resources. It takes some revenue to make that happen. And then the second vision I believe you have is you have a vision for your loved ones. I mean, the people you really care about. This past weekend, I got the chance to hang out with Mother Dear. She's 15 minutes down the road in Old Town Alexandria, and we got a chance to order some stuff from Amazon. Two big, 65-inch TVs, and she doesn't need all that, but she's having so much fun. And why is that? Because we could do that. Just like you might want to send your kids to a school of your choice. You might want to write a check for a cause you believe in. Take care of someone's health care insurance. It takes resources, which means it takes revenue for you to do that. And then the third vision I always like to say you have is you have a vision for the people you were called to serve. Some of you're not doing what you're doing for yourself. You do it for someone else. It's a gift. It's a talent. It's been given to you. I happen to be a believer, so I believe God's giving you this gift and this talent, much bigger than yourself. And I always like to use the analogy of Noah in the Bible because I think it's so relevant. And imagine if Noah was to get started on his mission. And imagine if he just said, first, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to just get myself a little boat over here and put my family over here. And then I'm going to put some chickens over here. And I'm going to make sure I got some goat in there. Some of y'all want to push a hog in there. And he's going to just take care of himself. But that's not what happened. He decided he's going to listen. He's going to do something bigger. And imagine before he got started, someone was a knock at the door. Boom, boom, boom. And someone said, yo, Noah. I always like to say they did say yo, Noah back in the day, by the way. There's a problem. There's no hammers in the house. Maybe you got a challenge right now. You've got the mask on and you can't be yourself. We'll come back to that. Or someone else, boom, boom, boom. Shorties. They did say shorty back in the day. Noah, there's no nails in the house. No hammer, no nails. Rule number one, Noah wouldn't panic, just like you. Maybe you're going through something right now. You're not panicking. But imagine someone's all the way in the back and they're screaming, Noah, me over here, look. And they're waving their hands. And he's like, what's up? And they say, well, Noah, I got to let you know there's no wood and there's no people to put the boat together. Good luck on this mission. And that's you right now. You're ready to take off the mask. You want to share the crown. You've got to get going. And it's all about you. So this morning, this evening, this afternoon, the authors from Drop the Mask and share the crown are here to help you today. So ladies, say hello to everybody. Just wave and say hello to all the folks that are out there. Give a little energy. There you go. Give a little energy because they showed up just for you. So we're going to get started. And we're going to just jump right into it because we're going to have a conversation with Tanya. And Tanya, we were in the green room, but just remind the folks again because they weren't there, most of them, some of them, and tell them your first name, where you're broadcasting it from, and then tell them the name of your chapter so they can hear it one more time, please.
My name is Tanya Williams, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and the name of my chapter is Heavy is the Head That Wears the Crown.
Now, why did you pick the title that you're using right now?
I feel that as a woman, we wear a lot of hats. And sometimes, we're in mom mode, we're in wife mode, we're in life coach mode. We work full-time jobs, so we're not taking care of the home, like back in the day. We're not doing the things that they used to do. And we have so many crowns to wear, and sometimes it can get really heavy. And so I just talk about some of those struggles in my chapter and, honestly, some of the pettiness that has actually gone on behind the scene when trying to collaborate.
What do you say to the single mom that's out there right now, or could be a single dad? They could be married, I guess. And they're like, yeah, I'm listening to that. I got a lot going on. There's a lot of pressure over here. There's a lot of stress. I've got to do a lot of stuff. What would you say to them to help maybe them stay the course and let them know that it's going to be okay?
Never forget your why. Your why is always going to motivate you and drive you to do whatever it is that you're called to do or that you want to do. Even on my worst day or the days that I'm exhausted, I never forget my why. And that's the motivation I need to just keep pushing forward.
Now, you can't leave us there and say you never forget your why and not tell us what your why is. I mean, you think you're going to just leave us on the edge? You're going to just leave us hanging like that? I mean, how could you possibly do that? I mean, they would just be upset. I would be upset. They would be upset. So if you can, take a moment and I know it's unfair, but 90 seconds or so, what's your big why? Like, why do you do what you do every single day, Tanya?
I want to help people really become the best version of themselves, no matter what that version is or what they see themselves. I believe God has created us all with gifts and talents to use in a certain way. We're not supposed to look or act like somebody else. And a lot of times when we first get started, we think we are supposed to mimic somebody else or look like somebody else. But actually, even for me, it never turned out what I imagined. God's plans are always bigger and better than mine. But I just want to encourage them to embrace who they are and use those gifts. And so for me, my why is to be an impact in somebody's life, not to be rich, not to be famous, but just to be impactful.
To be impactful. I'm wondering, as Shadaria is listening over there, I'm wondering what's going through Shadaria's mind. We're going to ask her now, as she hear you say, be the best version of yourself, and just make sure you make someone else's life a little better. Shadaria, as you're listening right now, what's going through your mind? What are you thinking right now?
Well, honestly, I couldn't have said it any better. One thing I love about Tanya sincerely is her vivaciousness, and she owns it. I think a lot of women altogether struggle with the mass because they see a bigger crowd headed towards this way. It's almost like when you are a part of a project, if anything, even amongst women conferences, there's this theme there. We're going to love each other, and we're going to act like we just really like each other all the time. And here you are, you got pigtails and pink hair, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't fit in. And so then you start putting on the mask of corporate America. You start putting on the mask of mass collaborator. When you really kind of are an introvert that really would prefer to serve in the back, there's this over glamorized pull about being in the front. And so we got people who should sit down in the front and people who should be in the front sitting down. Everybody's out of place and disorganized, and now we're clashing.
Says so well.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
You know, that's said so well. You know, as you're over there, Tanya, I'm curious. You had a lot of choices. You could have did a lot of things with your time, but you decided to be a part of this collaboration, this anthology. Take a moment, if you would, and tell us why you decided to share your chapter here with this anthology with Dawn Lieck, and what has the experience been like working with Dawn Lieck's team? Please share.
Well, for me, honestly, I think me and Dawn have a lot in common. We have similar backgrounds, and we've actually experienced some similar things. And for me, I'm just a fan of Dawn. I've always liked her. I followed her. And when you collaborate with people you can trust, amazing things can happen. And I can say I honestly trust her. When I first heard about the title, I mean, that was what got me, because I'm one who's always real. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm blunt. I'm out there. And when she said that, I was like, this is the time. This is the book. And, you know, actually, I feel like everybody's doing these anthologies, but if I had to pick one, this most definitely was the one to do it.
Yeah, I said very, very powerful. For those folks that are out there listening, I'm going to ask Dawn in a minute what's one of the reasons she decided to include this chapter in this anthology. I mean, why was it accepted by the committee? Before we do that, for those folks that are out there watching right now, Tiffany Daniels is out there watching, Wendy Lally, who's out there watching, Kevin Castillo, who's out there watching right now, Paula, who's watching right now, Daryl, what's up, Daryl, my man in Baltimore? I see you made it. He's in the house for the first time, and so many folks that are tuned in right now. Do me a favor. Hit the share button. I mean, we're gonna hear from Dawn in a minute and see why she accepted this. Okay, we'll get to that. But you just watching right now, take your two thumbs, hit the share button, and pay this message forward. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. The person outgives the competition out-earns the competition. And they all showed up for one reason only, and that is to serve plus add value. Hit the share button. Hit the share button. Hit the share button. Do it now, Dawn. You took this chapter. The committee agreed to it. It's a part of the anthology. Why this chapter, and specifically, why Tanya?
Well, I'm just gonna tell you, Tanya is more than vivacious. Okay, you can't help but be attracted to Tanya. That's just a given. I mean, she is like the TikTok queen. And she's going through the gospel on TikTok and dancing at the same time. So how could you not? How could you not? But really, I know Tanya to be, like she said, very forward. And so I was not looking for any authors in this anthology to sugarcoat anything. This is like the elephant in the room. The collaboration piece in our society is like the elephant in the room. Everybody skates around it. We're in this huge divide. And I knew that Tanya Of course, I was going to accept her chapter, whatever she said, because it was her truth. And so I knew that that's exactly what I was going to get. Every woman in this anthology, I knew that I was going to get their truth. And that's what it's all about. You know, we're the sugarcoating's got to stop.
Got it. So for those folks that are out there watching, thanks so much for tuning in. You just heard from Tanya. Don't worry, in just a second, we're going to hear from the one and only Anika. But before we do that, you watching at home, do me a favor, hit the share button. If you didn't get a chance to do it because you were like so tuned in, hit the share button now and pay this message forward to your community. You can copy the link if you want. You can paste that into your social media and put that on your page. I know you're watching on different platforms, different times. Even if you're watching the replay, you can do it as well. So thanks a lot. We really appreciate that. I want to serve as many people as possible and make a difference in their life. And these authors will change your life if you let them. All right, we're going to go over to the one and only Anika now. So Anika, I guess I just said your first name, but tell them your full name, tell them where you're broadcasting from, and you got to tell us again the name of your chapter.
Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Anika Cohen. The chapter is titled 3 Powerful Principles of Collaboration in Life, Business, and Career.
Life, business, and career. All right, so take a moment and tell us, give us a little sneak preview of the chapter. What's one of the challenges that the chapter is able to help, and why should folks even listen, or why should folks even read the chapter? I'll say it like that.
Well, one of the things that I learned early on in my journey as an entrepreneur in the marketplace is that I could not do it alone, and I could not be intimidated by another woman's success. I cannot be intimidated the fact that she may make 7 figures and I don't. I can't be intimidated by whatever it is that that person is doing and I'm not. Instead, I'm going to link arms and I'm going to connect and I'm going to collaborate with her and I'm going to ask the questions that need to be asked so I can propel forward. So that's the struggle that a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs have, is that they're afraid to allow the pride to die so they may live in their purpose.
Wow. Was there ever a time in your life where you had to let the pride die so that you could live in the purpose? And if so, can you give us the summation of it in the next minute or two?
Okay. For example, November 2007, 2 masked gunmen entered my home. And in order for me to change and propel forward with my life, I had to ask for help. I had to become vulnerable and ask for help. And so I tell women all the time that if I can do it, you can do it too, but you got to be vulnerable and ask for what it is that you desire. So the key is igniting your voice. Ignite your voice and choose to live.
What would you say to the person, thanks for being so authentic, is listening, saying, wow, how do you have the confidence to ask for what you want? It's a loaded question, but, in the limited amount of time you have, what would you say to the person who says, gosh, I don't want to seem like I'm bothering folks. I don't want to seem like, I'm asking too much. Am I good enough? Should I do this? Should I just keep my mouth quiet? I guess the question really is confidence. And what do you say to the person that says, I need a little more confidence, be to just ask for what I want and for what I need?
Be clear about what it is that you want. And don't be afraid of the response of no, or they may not have the answer, because a lot of times if people are afraid to ask for the help because they may be rejected. Even the rejection is purpose. Even the rejection is you moving forward. So keep propelling forward until you get the answer that you need.
Wow, you used the word rejection, and we were just talking to Tanya. In a minute, I'm going to ask Tanya to jump in. And when she hears the word rejection, kind of what's going through her mind and why is it so important, like you said, to still keep moving forward. So Tanya, in a minute or so, she's talking about rejection and doesn't feel so good. What's going through your mind as she uses the word rejection and still having to keep moving forward?
Well, I think all through life, we all have experienced some type of rejection. Nobody likes to be told no. But the thing about it, no doesn't always mean no. Sometimes no just means not right now. So oftentimes that's our time or our season to tweak whatever it is that we're doing, or, if we got a no, that's our chance to go back and try harder, do it better, change the thing that made us feel like the reason we got a no, and just keep moving forward. And let that no sometimes be your motivation. That, again, no might not be no, it just might be not right now. So ask yourself, what is it that I can change so I can get that yes? And don't let no stop you.
Don't let no stop you. I love that. One of the questions we've been asking folks, Anika, is why they decided to be a part of this anthology, which is Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. And more importantly, what has it been like working with the team that's kind of putting this together, by the way? We want to know. Like, we want to be behind the scenes. So take a minute and share what it's been like working with the one and only Dawn Lieck and her team. I don't know what Dawn does all day, but her team.
Listen, I absolutely love Dawn. She is my sister, and I am truly honored to be a part of this collaboration. And the one reason why I said yes to this particular anthology is because it's about connection. It's about connecting. And I had to learn to step outside of who and what I knew and connect. And so again, it goes back to me. If I can do it, step outside and be vulnerable, then so can you. So I love this project and this team and what it stands for.
I love it too. It's certainly amazing just hearing the first two stories. Don't worry, ladies. We got more coming, by the way. There's more to come. Don't worry. The best is still yet to come. But I want to ask Dawn this question I asked before. I think it's fair. I think it's reasonable, which is why was Anika's chapter selected? And why was her chapter selected? And why did you feel like it had to be a part of this anthology? You could have saved it for another time.
This subject, Shay, and especially for myself and Anika, we have known each other for probably about 4 years now, and our connection was made through Facebook. It was made through Facebook. We have spoke together at numerous different events since then. We have spoke together in Paris, France. I have been to her house. She has been to my house. And it all started online by a collaboration through a Facebook group. And so it was a given. It was a no-brainer that Anika would be a featured author in this collaboration, just because of our experience together and just showing that yes, we are two women from two different parts, of the United States. We have so much in common. We get along so well. And we don't look like each other. We really are nothing like each other. We are so opposite of each other. But it works. It works. And why? Because we drop the mask. The crown is constantly shared between us. We'll do whatever for each other. And that's true sisterhood. And that's what it's all about. So it was an absolute given that Anika would be in this project.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to them talk about Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. And that's what this anthology is all about. For those folks that are out there watching, Sheila Fair is in the house. Valerie C. Thompson is in the house. Always a pleasure, by the way. I see you out there. Stephen is in the house. Kelly, I see you as well. So many folks are tuning in from all over. Do us a favor. Hit the share button. In a moment, we're going to hear from Angela. And Angela's going to share her name and where she's from. But before she does that, by the way, hit the share button. Pay the message for it. I know it's a little bit of work. It's like 2 thumbs, like thumb, share, click share, just like you're swiping. They should make it swipe, shouldn't they? They should just make it swipe. But just hit the button right now and pay the message for it. Please, please, please. These ladies, they all showed up, and one guy, myself, hanging out with you. But they all showed up to really change your life. And not so much you, but for you to share this message for someone else that's ready to drop the mask. They're ready to share the crown, build collaborations, let go of egos, which is coming up in just a moment. So with that being said, let me go to the one and only who's in the queue. She's been waiting, got the big smile on her face, and she's ready to bring it to you. Like, okay, Shay, talk to me. You said my name is Angela, so tell them, Angela. Tell them your first name, your last name, where you're broadcasting from, and more importantly, the name of your chapter.
Awesome. So my name is Angela Singletary. I am in Biloxi, Mississippi, right on the Gulf Coast. The name of my chapter is Drop the Ego, Share the Crown.
I love it. Biloxi, Mississippi is in the building. I had to say that for all the Biloxi, Mississippi folks out there. They're in the building. You're representing. So take a moment, if you would, and like I asked everyone else, take us behind the scenes. Tell us the reason for the chapter and what folks can expect to get when they read your chapter inside of this book. Drop the mask, share the crown.
So I wrote my chapter. It's basically a step-by-step as to how to avoid the trap of letting your ego get a hold of you. You know, like I said, when you asked about the ego, it's a natural part of our brain, and we have to be very active to ensure that it doesn't take control and make decisions for us. And so it can be easy to kind of get caught in the clicks or in the, you know, competition mindset. And so I wrote step by step how to avoid that and things that you should look out for to make sure that you're not doing it, because a lot of times I've seen it happen before you even realize it. You know, it's kind of like that "you are the company you keep" thing, where you can easily just kind of get misguided. I don't think many women intend to be malicious or, you know, step on other women on their way up. I think it just kind of happens that way. And so I hope that my step-by-step helps people keep from that happening.
Okay. And what is one step? I know you can't give it away. I get it. Don's probably gonna hit me over the head over there, by the way. But what's one step that they could take? And maybe it's in the chapter, maybe it's not. But what's one step for the person's out there saying, you know what? I know I need to drop the ego. Okay. And if we're all honest, we all have a little ego, a little chip on our shoulder, as they say. And I get that. But what's one thing you would recommend to someone right now? They could take the first baby step so they can drop the ego, so they can drop the mask, so they can share the crown. And that's what the book is all about. Drop the mask and share the crown.
So stay out of the mess. And it's so easy to get caught up in the gossip, and because it makes you feel, it triggers that ego and makes you feel like you're included, like you're special, like you got the inside scoop. And it's really, really easy to get caught up in that gossipy kind of mentality. And then it ends up being a us versus them thing, because whoever you're talking about, you know, you're thinking negative thoughts about. And then, and it's just, that's a really big like step into the wrong direction. So just stay out of it. Don't allow yourself to participate in the gossip. Once you see it happening, just excuse yourself. You know, you don't even have to make a big deal about it, because, you know, that's not always your place to do. But just don't participate. Stay out of it.
Don't participate. Stay out of it. Very good advice. And everyone can do that. It doesn't cost them anything, right? There's no app needed to do that. They could do that right away as they're over there, by the way. I'm wondering, as Anika is listening in over there, and she's hearing you say it's time to drop the ego, what's kind of going through her mind right now? She's listening to you speak. Anika, share with us what's kind of going through your mind right now.
Well, one of the things that I often say is you got to drop the pride so you may live. And I think that refers to the ego. And I believe each and every one of us, we all have an ego. But those of us who are leaders, we choose to drop the ego. We choose to allow that to die so we may truly live in our purpose. And that takes discipline. It is not easy to drop the ego, because it's not about right or wrong. It's not about that. It's just really about positioning ourselves. So we got to change the perspective so we may live.
Change the perspective so we may live. I love it. Angela, as you're over there, I've asked each of the other folks the same question. So you probably know what the question is right now, which is, why did you decide to participate in this particular anthology? You could spend your time doing some other things if you wanted to. But no, you're a part of this and allowing your chapter to be a part of this. So why are you doing it, number one? And number two, what has the experience been like working with Dawn Lieck and her team?
So the first answer to your first question is because Dawn asked me. Dawn has been an incredible mentor, friend, coach, I had the pleasure of being in Finally Free with her. And so I didn't even hesitate when she asked me. But then also, this is something I'm really passionate about. I'm a big believer in choosing kindness and doing good. And like Anika said, it's something that you have to be cognizant about. You have to be intentional about it. But I'm a huge believer in that it always, always, always pays off, always. And so I think that this book has kind of that central theme of sharing and loving and that kind of thing. And my experience has been indescribable. Dawn and her team are the best. I love that Shadaria joked about Dawn thinking she's our mama, and thank God, because half of us would be late to everything and not have half the opportunities we do. So she's just incredible, and I'm really excited about the impact that this book will have. I think that there's a very good central theme, but so many different little stories inside that will speak to so many.
Said so well. Thanks so much for sharing. Dawn, as you're listening over there right now, why Angela's story, and why now?
Angela, I forced Angela into Finally Free. I'll just be transparent and say that. I forced her into it. And so she said no, and I said yes, and she said no, and I said yes. It's good. And so with this project, Angela, there's certain people that you can see that just have a shine. And her light is so bright. But she's not always as courageous as her light is bright. And so I pushed her into the first time around. This time around, it was all her. And she has some fantastic points, that are really going to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. And so her future is bright. There again, it was a given. She's got some stuff to say. So definitely wanted her in the project.
Well, thanks so much, Angela, for sharing your story. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks for being a part of this. And thanks, Don, for having it. All right, we're moving down, and the next person we'll get a chance to speak to is the one and only Shadaria, right? And we get a chance to ask her the same question that we've asked other folks. Is we're going to ask her to tell us her first name, obviously, tell us her last name, tell us where she's broadcasting in from, and of course, you know this rule by now, Shadaria, which is obviously tell us the name of your chapter.
Well, hello, Shay, and everyone out there. My name is Shadaria Allison, and I'm broadcasting from the wonderful state of North Carolina. And my chapter is called Pink America.
Okay. The wonderful state of North Carolina. North Carolina's pretty big. So they probably wondering, like, where at in North Carolina, Shay? It's a pretty big state. I think it's number 15 or something of all the states out there. Is there any particular hometown that you want to shout out, or you want to say, I'm just from a little state called North Carolina here on the East Coast?
Shay, nobody does it like you, Shay. Give me telling people where you exactly are. This is cyber world, right?
Oh, okay. I don't want to tell them where you are, okay? I'm in Washington, D.C. It's a pretty big place, although we don't have any voting rights here, by the way, and we're, I think, the 5th largest state, although we'll be a state one day, hopefully during my lifetime. But it's not about me. It's all about you, Shadaria. So take a moment, if you would, and tell us a little more about the chapter and who the problem the chapter really solves. Tell us a little about the chapter, if you would. Give us the backstory.
I'm so glad that you said that, for real. I'm a forward author. I'm the forward author here. And the forward author traditionally is kind of the person that kind of sets the landscape for what the book is supposed to be. So I didn't get to put my Shadariaism, how I usually like to finesse and put my stuff in there. I had a big responsibility to serve the women in this book. So I pretty much act as a trumpet to all women. I talk about our place in America. And if you look at our world right now, it's in calamity. I do appreciate the victory that we won in the justice for someone's life, but that's just like a really small rock on our list when it comes down to a world that has faced so much social change within an instant. And who can help like we can? But we are in this structure of see me, see me, see me, and we're all guilty of it. I do makeup, and baby, there's nothing more than I love than a flicked up selfie, baby. It ain't even me trying to be up in the center of attention. Just I like to be cute. But right before that, I'm in intercession, right? I'm on my knees praying for this country, or I'm helping somebody else, because the bigger responsibility, or I'm a mom to my son, my bigger responsibility is to serve, right? So I kind of anthem that to women. I charge us, I call us out. I'm not going to lie to you. We have become, almost blind to what our real responsibility is in the earth. We've been labeled from promiscuous to the pastor's wife and nothing in between. We are now trying to find our place because we're trying to catch up. I feel God has designed us to actually kind of warrior for our place, and help others and really get down to the nitty gritty. The beautiful Angela had me on her show the other day, and I quote Coretta Scott King, who I love absolutely. She says, "Women, if the soul of this nation is to be saved, I believe that you must become its soul." Women, it's time for us to stand up again. Get your butt out of the camera, right? Okay, twerking, all right? Get out of the gossip columns. Quit being cyber bullies, okay? Because it's time for you to pick up your shovel and get busy. We're losing ourselves. So my position in the book is to remind people of that. And that's really short and sweet. But the premise is, women, we are united in the states of America. It's time for us to know our place, know our role, and quit being shallow and start serving our country.
I love that. It's time to unite. It's time to work together. It's time to stop being shallow, but to do it as one. Success is a team sport, and you can only get so far by yourself. And you've said it so well. I love what you talked about. Pink America, very, very important. I'm going to go over to Tanya. As Tanya is listening to Shadaria and hearing her speak now, what's going through your mind, Tanya? What are you hearing over there?
I have to agree. My motto is teamwork makes the dream work. And, we're all in this competition mode once again, and everybody's trying to get ahead. Everybody wants to secure the bag, but we've really gotten past our belief system, and we've taken God out of the whole equation, and we're not worried about securing our soul anymore. And we're not worried about our kids and being great leaders and being great parents. And we have to get back to that place. I believe it has to happen inside the house before we can make a change outside the home, because believe it or not, our kids are sponges. And, if we can conquer that and we can get back to the mindset of, like she was talking about, being better parents, better role models as women to our daughters, and, the younger girls looking up to us, that it's not okay to be twerking. It's not okay to be showing all of our body parts, that we are jewels. When a man takes us as a wife, right, he's getting favor from the Lord.
I think what I'm hearing you saying is that we're all jewels, that we've got to make sure we get the moving. And Shadaria is over there, and she's hearing the passion. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you can hear the passion. The passion is there. She's right there. As it was in Shadaria, I could hear it as well. Shadaria, as you hear, the passion is out there, and folks are saying, okay, what's one thing that I can do, a step that I can do towards uniting, a step that I can do towards doing some good? And they just want to get your view of the world. You gave us your perspective. You told us what's possible, but they said, gosh, is there one thing that I can do? Is I'm gonna get up every day, and I go to work, and I'm trying to come home, and I'm also trying to be an entrepreneur, and I'm doing this. What's something that I can do just more? What would you say to that person that's watching right now?
Well, of course, quite essentially, I have a poster behind me that says, "Society functions better when we know our role." Number one, if we're going to drop the mask, if you know that you're not a spokesman, like I said, sit down. If you know that this is not true to your inner self, right? You got to hear what your inner self is longing for. Because don't get it twisted. Though I am a diva and I like to be cute, diva because I want to be cute, not diva because I don't like women. Everything about me, though, is serving others. So that's what calls me in the middle of the day. Everything I do, I serve. Even when I pick up my toolkit to do a graphic. So first of all, you need to know your place, know your role. Secondly, you need to imprint service in everything you do. Half of my friend Tanya, people don't know this. Me and Tanya, I love Tanya. Tanya's a good friend of mine. I haven't seen Tanya in a while because I'm serving others constantly. The only person I'm breaking my service code to is my son, because he comes first outside of God. But other than that, serving is a mass part of my business. So I would tell people, if you learn who you are outside of learning who God is and know your role, know it well, and then pick up something to serve the person next to you. It could be as small as opening a door. Today I went to a nail salon and I offended somebody and I told them sorry. And we're different colors. So where I'm speaking, this person didn't understand me. Everything in me wanted to be like, I said what I said. But the servant in me was like, do you want to lose this brother or lose this sister for your ego? Or could you not just apologize and see it their way? And God has been dealing with me that's service. Making myself uncomfortable so that you can have a place in society where you function better. So my recommendation is always to know who you are, know what you're supposed to do, right? And then find something to serve. I tell my son, I tell him to do children. Well, Mom, you done everything. I said, well, pick up something you see. If it's out of place, pick it up. It's that simple. So if you see something out of place in your life or in somebody else's life, serve them. You know somebody needs help with groceries, dig in that wallet, get the Gucci later, and go pay somebody's for their groceries. If you know somebody needs help, needs lifting up, if they just gone through a death or they just gone through something hard, pick up that phone and call them. Send your friend a gift. Do something. It could be that small. We're looking for this grandiose thing, but this country more than it needs anything else is small acts of service and big acts of love. And if you would get on that level, that can fix a whole lot.
Small acts of service and big of love. I think is that what you said?
It's the same. Small acts of service, big acts of love.
Okay, small acts of service, big acts of love. Okay. I just want to make sure I get that. For those folks that are out there, do me a favor as you're listening right now. Go and hit the share button. If you haven't done that already, hit the share button, pay this message forward to someone else. And you can do that now. And you can help another little girl or little boy or big girl or big boy that's out there right now that's like, you know what? It's time for me to drop the mask. It's time for me to share the crown. It's time for me to do more, be more, and have more. And it's possible. And they've laid it out. I mean, this is just a handful, I would say, of some of the other folks that are participating in this anthology. Shadaria, I've asked everyone the same question. I want to make sure I ask you as well, which is, you're in the forward of this book. You're there. You're behind the scenes, so it's a little special. But why do you continue to work with Dawn and being on the team and being a part of the team and leader and so forth? Why do you continue to do these projects with Dawn? You could do something else with your time. And what's it been like?
Y'all see my lashes crooked. You start talking about Dawn, I'm not gonna make it get more crooked by crying. I love me some Dawn Lieck. Dawn was the blessing I didn't know I needed. She showed up in my life really essentially by me watching her show up as so many others people. Dawn has served people behind the scenes. Always there, like Angela attested to. There's been time I could call Dawn and talk about my ex, or I could call Dawn and talk about how I need to be a better servant. When you have a relationship with somebody that way, it's easy to say yes. I love her. I think she's an amazing woman. White, black, blue, or brown. She treats people the same. I've never seen Dawn be fake. I love how she stands up for people. And I love how she has so much passion. Even if she's like, Shadaria, move that a little bit to the left. It's still passion. I love Dawn's passion. And so I just love her. I think she's what the world needs. And I think we're going to find that out pretty soon. Anything she asks me to do, I'm going to do it. I love her.
Cool beans. Well said. Dawn, as you're listening on the other side, take a moment, if you would, and share why you decided to include this forward, because you could have selected a number of folks, by the way. But you're like, no, Shadaria is the one to deliver this message to this audience at this time in history. Why?
Shadaria is, first of all, I love me some Shadaria as well. Shadaria is very open to all different subjects. And so we have hard conversations together. And, very obvious, she's black and I'm white. And so we have two different points of views on things. And we're able to discuss anything in our point of view. And the other one is not judgmental, or making any type of, accusations or anything like that. And so we have talked in depth about the subject of where our country's at right now with this divide. We have talked hours and hours and hours about it. And so I just knew that she was the one that could lead off this book, because she knows exactly where I'm coming from. She knows exactly what my thoughts are. my vision for the book. And so there was no one else for this project. It was all about her.
All about her. Thanks so much for sharing. Thank all of you for being a part of this, by the way. It's really cool to be behind the scenes and get to share this message on this platform with so many folks that are out there right now. And they're ready to drop the mask and then share the crown. Oh, I love it, by the way. As folks are listening right now, we're moving to a segment called Today is My January 1st. And it's one of the segments that we believe in. It's one of our core beliefs here. It's one of our core values that today is my January 1st. And for those folks who know what I'm about to do, by the way, you can look right below the video. You can look right below the video. You can write those magic words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are asking, Shay, what in the LL Cool J are you talking about over there? Well, today is my January 1st. Represents one of those days on the calendar. It doesn't have to say January 1st, but you create a January 1st moment anytime you make a decision. And that decision could change the trajectory of your life. And there's 1,000 decisions you can make. You can make a decision right now to drop the mask and share the crown. That's a January 1st moment. You can make a decision. You're going to go to the gym. Sounds good, doesn't it? Remember that? Remember that goal? And that's a January 1st moment. Or you can make a decision that you're going to serve others. You're going to eat healthy. Remember that New Year's resolution, by the way? But in all seriousness, so today is my January 1st is a fresh start. It's a do-over. It's my past. My past no longer equals the future. The question I have for each of them that I'll go around and ask, and I'll start with Tanya, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What goes through your mind?
Well, for me, if today was my January the 1st, be better than I was yesterday. So no matter what area it is that I want to be better at, whether it's better with relationships, better with the words that I choose, just being a better leader, a better person in general. If we wake up every day, we each have not only the chance, but the choice to be better than we were yesterday. So no matter what area that we want to change, we have a new fresh start to do it, and it's never too late to start.
Love it. Thanks so much for sharing. Going over now to Anika, and then we'll go over to Angela in a moment. But Anika, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind?
I choose to live. I choose to be liberated, improve daily, be vivacious, and enlightened. It is not a declaration for me. It is a lifestyle because it's a choice, and I have to make that choice daily. So every day I wake up, I say I choose to live.
I choose to live. Today, indeed, is my January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? Like, Happy New Year to all of you, by the way. Isn't it good that you just have a new year, like right now, like in this present moment? I love it. Over to you, Angela, as you're over there smiling. Biloxi, Mississippi, I believe it was, in the house, in the building. Today is my January 1st. What goes through your mind?
Excitement. So much excitement. January 1st is so exciting, and to be able to try to, start anew each day or each week or whatever, whenever you have something that you're starting, it's exciting. And when you're kind of in the middle towards the end of it, but not quite at the end, it can be not so exciting. So trying to reframe that mindset of it and to think this is my January 1st. And, is this just as exciting now as it was then? Loving the process is the best part about things.
Absolutely. And Shadaria, you heard the question. Today is indeed my January 1st, a fresh start, a do-over. They don't have to worry about the past. They get to create the future, unlimited possibilities. What goes through your mind when you hear those words?
Well, you kind of stole the words out of my mouth. I said I'm going to start responding to my life and its issues as my future self.
Says so well. Thank you so much for sharing. And as folks are listening right now and they're thinking, might be wondering, you know what, Jay, you talking to these individuals, and I like to know what they do. I think that's reasonable. I like to know how I can connect with some of them. I think that's reasonable. So I'm going to go around, and we'll go backwards this time. We'll start with Shadaria, and then we'll work our way back around. And I give them an opportunity to take 60 seconds or so and tell you kind of what they do, if they're in the line of business, what they do, and how you best can connect with them, even over and beyond this conversation. And we'll end with Dawn, who will talk about the book and how you can connect with that as well. All right, Shadaria, tell us, what line of business are you in, or what do you do, and how can folks best connect with you?
Well, for me, if today was my January the 1st, be better than I was yesterday. So no matter what area that we want to change, we have a new fresh start to do it, and it's never too late to start.
What goes through your mind?
Well, my name is Shadaria Allison. I'm also known as Dr. Allison, the beauty practitioner. I specialize in business, beauty, and bios. I'm a stone cold creative. So you can reach out to me for almost anything. You can get interesting. Reach out via email right now, okay? Because I can't do DMs, can't keep up with it all. Info at drallison911.com or simply just drallison911.com.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Said so well. All right, over to you, Angela. How can tell folks what you do and how they can best connect with you?
I am a life and wellness coach. I love helping women find radical self-love where they are today, not once they achieve certain things or become a different person. I own Purpose by Ange, and that is how you can find me across all social media and purposebyange.com.
Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate that. Anika, as folks are listening, tell them how they can best, what you do, and how can they best connect with you over and beyond this conversation. So, Anika, I'm not sure if you heard me. She might not have heard me. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. So how you can connect with me, you can connect with me at Choose to Live Enterprises. That's with Oni.com. I am a business strategist coach, and I serve and support purpose-driven men and women who are struggling with turning their vision into a reality. I help you by providing strategy, solutions, and success so you can propel forward. So again, you can reach me at Choose to Live Enterprises with OneE.com.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And Dawn, you're the visionary. This was a vision that you had that you've now turned into a reality. You brought a collection of individuals together for a common purpose, and that is to share this message that it's time to drop the mask. It's time for everyone out there to share the crown, and you have a true belief that it's possible, that it can be done, and that it will be done, and you're on a mission to make sure it becomes a true reality. So take a moment, if you would, and share again just the backstories for folks that are just tuning in, and those folks that are tuning in, please hit the share button. If you're just watching right now, you haven't done that yet, hit the share button and pay this message forward. And I'm going to ask Don a two-part question. Number one, to kind of quickly share the backstory again of why this is so important to her. And then secondly, how you folks can connect. You might want to know, how can I get on the wait list for the book? How can I do this? Who should I contact? Don't worry. Dawn came prepared to share with you how you can do that. And I'm confident she's going to tell you step by step how to do that. So Dawn, we're going to turn it over to you.
All right, Shay. Well, thank you so much. The first thing is my vision for the book was just bringing together women for authentic success through collaboration of expert women. And so that's the biggest thing. We have all of these expert and professional and very gifted women. And, a lot of times we're thinking we can't work with someone else because they're going to steal our ideas. They're going to take this from me. Well, I'm not here to say that you can work with every single person, because that's just life. We can't. But if maybe 1% of those people would do something like that, why are we penalizing the other 99% of the women that we can link arms with and achieve fabulous, fabulous things? And so all of the women that are in this anthology are very gifted women. They're very boisterous women, vivacious. I will definitely use Anika's word, very vivacious. They're all not afraid to speak their mind and, cover some issues that we are all facing right now with the divide in our country of women, separating and segregating almost. And it doesn't have to be that way. We cannot judge a book by the cover. We have to get away from instilled beliefs that some of us were raised with, and just have our own mind. And I challenge anybody who's listening, I challenge anyone, man or woman, reach out to someone that is not like you in some way, shape, or form, that is not like you. Reach out to them and just have a conversation. Send them a message. See if you can set up a call. Talk to them for 10 or 15 minutes and just see what they're all about. Maybe someone that you've kind of been idolizing. It doesn't have to be that, but break it down and see who the person really is. And once we start doing that and stop separating groups and running in cliques and doing all of these crazy high schoolish things, we can make a difference in this world. We can do it together. And so if you are interested in a copy of the book will launch. Our bestseller launch will be May the 13th. And so it's going to be all over social media. The world's going to know. But if you are interested in purchasing a book, or if you want any information about it, I can be reached at dawn@dawnleakenterprise.com.
I love it. I love it. It will be a bestseller, ladies and gentlemen. It will be all over the internet. You're behind the scenes. You're with the authors. These folks are excited. They can't wait. They put their time in. They put their effort in. They told the best story they possibly can to make a difference for you. And isn't that what it's all about? Not about them. You didn't hear one of them say it's all about me. It's all about what's inside of them that can help someone else. And isn't that what life is all about at the end of the day? Each one do their little part. Together, we can do this. What I like to do right now is we're coming down the home stretch. I like to go back around, and I'm going to ask each of the authors if they'll take about 90 seconds or less, to share their final thoughts, maybe to empower you, to inspire you. I did say 90 seconds or less, and I heard the audience. They said less is more than 90 seconds. I get it, but don't worry. They're passionate. They understand this, but they got so much inside of them that they want to share. And, I'm going to ask them if we could close out that. We're talking with the authors of Drop the Mask, Share the Crown, with the visionary, the one and only Dawn Lieck. I want to thank her for allowing us on the Happy Entrepreneur Show to be the behind the scenes, by the way, and have this exclusive. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's certainly a treat and a treasure. So we'll go back the way we started. I think that's probably appropriate. So we'll kick off with the one and only Tanya. And she can't wait. Don't worry. They were waiting for this moment to share this message with you. They can't wait to share it with you. So I'm going to give it over to her now to share her final thought, to empower you, to inspire you, so you can drop the mask and you can what? Share the crown. Over to you, Tanya. Thanks so much for being here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show.
Well, I just want to encourage everybody to, like Dawn said, just have a conversation with someone, reach out and collaborate. You never know what kind of change or what you can do unless you do it. Don't be afraid to, try something new. Just do it. A lot of times we do it scared, but you'll never know what you can do unless you do it.
Love it. Never know what you do until you can do it. Thanks so much for sharing. You're amazing. You're incredible. Thank you for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Over to you, Anika. Your final thoughts and comments. We appreciate you. Can't wait to read your chapter either.
Well, thank you, Shay. So my last words would be this: simply choose to live and ignite your voice, understanding that your voice is your power. And until you believe in yourself, nothing changes. So I need you to just chant every day until you believe it. I choose to live.
Drop the mask, share the crown. You're here with the ladies, all part of the anthology. Now we're going to go to the one and only down in Biloxi, Mississippi. I keep saying Biloxi, Mississippi, by the way. They're all from somewhere different, by the way. But the one and only Angela, please share your final thoughts and comments. We appreciate you as well being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It's time to drop the mask and share the crown.
Thanks, Shay. I would just encourage you to be mindful of where your thoughts are coming from and see if they're ego-driven. And I also always encourage you to seek self-love, because a lot of this competitive competition, divide is rooted in a lack of self-love and confidence. And so when you truly love yourself, you're much more able to love one another. And when you're able to recognize that the ego is the one that's doing the talking and not really, your actual self, then you can start to shift those mindsets.
You can shift the mindsets. Thanks so much for sharing. We appreciate that. Now we're going over to the one and only Shadaria. Dr. Shadaria is in the house as well. Final thoughts and comments. Thanks a lot. It's always a pleasure. But share your final thoughts to empower, to inspire, and to encourage those folks who are out there. And these fiber optic lines are going to go off, right? And they now got to go make it a pink America. Well, I'll let you do your part. Over to you, Shadaria.
That's right. Pink America. Go win. Anyway, this week I need everybody to go take the 16 personalities quiz. You do not know where you're going, what you want to do, where you want to be, who you want to be, until you know your personality, who you are, and what premise you stand from. I make my 16-year-old, we're fighting now. He's like, why do I have to take this test? And I'm like, because it's going to answer so much about who you are, where you're going, even your career choices. You need to get to know yourself. You know, lately God has kind of been challenging me to get to know myself through battles and different things I'm experiencing. But I'm noticing those. If I'm an ENFP, I'm responding from an extrovert's point of view, but I only know that because I took the quiz. So I want you guys to take the 16 personalities quiz this week and write down what you learned and what kind of personality you are.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for being successful. All you ladies are amazing. You're all incredible, and you all got so much greatness, and you're so special, so it's an honor. We're going to go over to the one and only now, Don Lieck. It's fitting that you close us out with your final thoughts and comments. Once again, thanks for not only having the vision, but executing this vision. I know you and all the authors here, they have a heart to give. They have a heart to serve, and they've proven that tonight. And you at home as well as you're watching, thank you for tuning in. Dawn, I'll turn it over to you.
Wow, so much to say. But I think the one thing I want to close out with is that love who you are. Of course, we are proud of, we should absolutely be proud of who we are, but also understand that as much as we love who we are, we do not have to be anti something to be pro something else. And so if you keep that in your mind, you don't have to be anti anything to be pro something else. Spread the love around and stop with the instilled beliefs, or, I guess I could just say, which I've spoke on it before, forget what they told you. Make your own decision, reach out to someone that you do not know, and make a difference. It has to start with us. It has to start with us.
Wow. It has to start with us. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. You've been watching the authors behind the scenes on Drop the Mask, Share the Crown. Thank you for tuning in. I want you to know as you're watching right now, if you haven't, hit the share button. Like, you still have time. If you did it before, do it again. Pay this message forward. It's only going to help someone else, right? You can bless someone. There's no Cash App needed. There's no Zelle payment needed. Just a little effort or push of a button, and you can do that. Thanks for tuning in. You're amazing. You're incredible. And for everyone you watching, today is your January 1st. You can drop the mask. You can share the crown. Today is your January 1st. You can drop the ego. Today is your January 1st. There can be a pink America. I mean, today is your January 1st. It's possible for you. The best is still yet to come. Put your sunglasses on. The future is bright. With that being said, my name, by the way, for those folks that's curious, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this. Time is long. Life, on the other hand, is, it's very, very short. So you got to live in that moment, and you got to make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Thanks a lot, ladies. We appreciate it. We'll see you behind the scenes. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. We out of here. Peace. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Thank you. God bless.